Hello and welcome back to my channel, my sugar muffin plums. On this channel, we have always been about manifesting and celebrating our natural beauties. We have always made a big effort to stay away from such toxic trends as overusing filters or endorsing unrealistic beauty standards. So here today is my little tutorial about my completely natural #fabulacious look. And I do hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
Ah, oh my, that was objectively terrifying. Good evening, laddies, lasses and lassos, and welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. You think that intro was bad enough and be like, oh my god, click, that was some horror fiction. What would you say if I were to tell you, it's not fiction at all. This is the reality of social media as we now know it. One thing that has always flabbergasted me throughout the years, despite kind of knowing better, right? I've always been working with graphics design and a bit of photography and video making and that sort of thing, is beauty standards. There is no secret that traditionally every person you see like on a hot big billboard is kind of retouched. Their waist is probably shrunk a little bit, they have like fixed their skin and stuff, so it's even more pure than it would be with like the fanciest makeup. This isn't a secret, and we all kind of objectively know this. Even on an emotional level, like in the back of your head, it can give you a very skewed image, and a skewed image of what your own body should look like and what the average is actually like. But nowadays, I would argue that this phenomenon is on absolute crack, because now these tools are available to just everyday people like you and me. So now it's no longer us just going on social media or the news and seeing like the top hottest celebrities being retouched. Now you see like Jenny from next door being retouched, and all of a sudden everyone has a six-pack, everyone has a waist that's about this wide, and everyone has smooth skin, and everyone looks like they're 25 despite them being 50. What the fuck is going on? And that is why today we're gonna look into social media beauty standards. Some of it is a bit sneaky and almost scary what you can get away with good filters, and some of it is just like unhingedly comical where it's so obvious it's fake but people still buy it for some reason, and it causes some really funny moments. So let's dig into it together, shall we? Enjoy. Mwah. Oh my god, what is this coming out of my eldritch tales? It's a demon. A birthday cake demon. Coming out on the 2nd of March. Keep a lookout for the channel birthday. Yes, indeed, it's going to be beautiful. Now, on to the Unhinged video. Okay, let's show you the most unique body of all times. Yeah, that's certainly one way of describing it. Oh my god, what is going on here? Wait a second. This young woman has the tiniest waist you've ever seen. Did they post this? Like a serious, like, mini documentary or whatever. Everyone going around taking photos and stuff. Okay. For anyone who missed that at home, we're gonna replay the section in slow motion where she's standing in front of the green bushes, right? And you can literally see everything skewing around. This is a filter. This is a filter, and it's not even a particularly good one. But if you don't pay attention, or she's walking against like a homogeneous background, you're not even gonna notice. And this stuff is so common nowadays, and most of the time it's not as over the top as this is, so you might not even notice it. It's absolutely bonkers. Oh my god. Literally, where are her organs? Oh my god.
What up, fellow girlies at home? Do you want to see a realistic beauty expectations where no filters were used? Here you go, baby. You see, natural eyes, natural hip.
I'm not sure why the arm is like bending backwards, but that's just
Another impossible beauty standard, I guess. You just have to go to the gym more so you can
bend your elbows backwards. I know exactly what you're thinking. At least as a male watching Click on my phone on my couch, I am at least not the target of this sort of things. Think again. Check this one out. What's it called? Like the really cursed manga style, where they have like really small heads and broad shoulders. What is that called? Oh yeah, I found the picture. This is the style I'm talking about. Look at this, like the super tiny head and the broad shoulders. I'm so happy to see it's making its way into IRL. Well, IRL as in like Instagram, but like damn. I thought this was only in manga, but here we are, baby.
Your makeup looks so bad.
Oh, is there gonna be a reveal? Oh, hell yeah, the same makeup in good light. Aw, heck yeah. I find this video refreshingly honest, because there is so much you can do with light, and I think it's so important to show this from time to time, because it's not a very healthy thing to compare yourself like in the front camera of your iPhone sitting all greased up on your couch at home with a pizza on a Friday to someone that like tried their best to look as good as possible while thinking through the lights and camera angles on social media, right? There is a reason our profile pictures usually look better than we do on an average day, right? And it's not because we're lying with filters, it's just because angles and light do one hell of a job.
Oh, look at these two besties, totally not using filters. Yes, just all natty here, but then you just you just don't filter the second picture and just leave your friend hanging.
I always find this kind of stuff so funny, or when people post the same picture on each other's profiles, but they only filter themselves. It is the most funny thing ever, I swear to God. She posted both together, but only face-tuned her friend's face in the first photo. Did her dirty. Oh, no, that's exactly what I mean. Look at that. No. So the first picture, both are like face-tuned and polished. Look at that. But in the second picture, she just didn't do it. Left her friend hanging. Well, the payback is to post the same picture yourself and not face-tune your friend in return. Or maybe we just don't use face-tune to this extent. Can't we just be real people, please? Ooh, now the AI filters are making it to dating apps. This dude, 31 years old, he/him, John Hopkins University. That is not a real photo. Isn't this the filter that people were memeing on like a year ago? Like the Chad filter?
Things I did in my 20s to look like this in my 40s.
Filters. The secret is filters. And here is an actual picture. A lot of work done, a lot of makeup, and a fuckload of filters. Hell yes. The thing I hate about this is that she is selling products, her skincare line, and extremely expensive procedures. She is misrepresenting what is possible, and I just feel bad for her. How much must she hate the version of herself she sees in the mirror? What kind of dysmorphia is going on here? It's like broadcasting your pain and self-hatred to the world. She also has a young daughter whom she includes on the channel. No! Her daughter has made comments about wanting to change her own face, which is presented as cute and adorable. The kid can't be more than 5? It cuts me up inside. This is so sad, man. I feel like you're also crossing an extra ethical boundary when you're actively promoting like fitness programs or nutrients or makeup or, you know, whatever it might be, and you're not presenting an honest picture of what you actually look like. Or you lie about how you receive the results. For example, someone who's on steroids, but they recommend like a vanilla workout program, be like, yeah, you can look like this in 3 months. Because not only is it feeding into the unrealistic expectations of social media, it's also using people's insecurity that is a result of that and giving them hope that they can look the same and doing it for profit. That to me has always been really shady.
You know those nights where
we
you
got some
just want
trad wife
a little
TikToking
snack before you go to bed. Tonight was one of those nights for me, so
Wait.
I decided to make
Wait, no way. Replay that in slow motion and zoom in on the waist. There is a waist filter. You see, like, oh my god. You see the stuff on the counter is just flickering back and forth. This waist filter is even kinda sneaky. It's hard to notice, right? Because it's not so over the top like the girl that was walking down the street in the red dress. That one was like comically overdone. But this is sneaky. If you don't know what you're looking for and you're just casually scrolling TikTok, this will absolutely look real.
Yes indeed. No filters in this picture, just an alpha Chad in his motorcycle. Oh my, this is the most natural picture I've ever seen.
Oh, okay, he was about 30 years older than I expected. Well, that's a thing. I guess it's not only the ladies using these sort of filters on social media now, is it? Whoa, equality. Look at that eye makeup. That's totally real. And here's the unfiltered picture. Why even bother? They look perfectly fine. They look like perfectly nice ladies. Why do you filter stuff to the point where you don't even recognize yourself in the pictures? What's the point? At that point, you can just get like a VTuber avatar, okay? God. What she posted versus what the makeup artist posted. So here's the picture she posted after the makeup session. I mean, I can already see that the skin is pretty heavily retouched, and the jawline and the chin is like it can take out eyeballs. That looks dangerous. And here is the picture before the makeup, posted by the artist makeup page. I wouldn't even be able to recognize the person. Like, don't get me wrong, it's kind of like big fancy makeup and whatever. But man, at this point, you can't even recognize the person. That's what's so wild. It's gone so hard overboard. It's not just airbrushing skin anymore. Now it's like changing your very bone structure. It's a kind of uncanny, man. So this is like a makeup oh my god! That is absolutely insane! Like, don't get me wrong, some of them, you can tell that they're filtered. because it like airbrushes certain pixels and, you know, the resolution kind of changes. It's like a bit generated or whatever. But if you're just casually scrolling on a small screen, you will never be able to tell. Nothing is real anymore. Nothing is real anymore. This is going to be the AI revolution. They're just going to kill our self-confidence by spamming this kind of stuff and making like AI influencers so we all feel ugly. And that's how it takes over humanity, by bashing down our self-confidence first. That's my new favorite conspiracy.
Oh yes, girl, look at those hip dips. All the other girls are just jealous.
Why is my doorway and bed literally
Literally skewing? I don't know, maybe if you also had hips that could literally bend space-time, it's not an impossible standard, believe me.
flying to Italy? I cannot tell if this is satire or not. You know it's bad when you can't tell what is satire and what isn't.
Oh yes, girl on Bumble, Julia 21. Another girl on Bumble, Lillian 23.
Wait a second, isn't this the same girl? To be more specific, the same AI girl. Here's another one. It's the same one again. 3 women I swiped past today felt something was off on the first one, so took a screenshot. Then came the other 2. You can tell they are AI generated by the pupils. The future is now, old man. You can also very obviously tell they're fake if you zoom in and you can see like the weird pixelation and dead pixels. It's probably some kind of artifact in the image generation software. But yeah, the eyes are also off. You can kind of see in the eyes when something is AI. Like they don't really have pupils, it's just like shiny balls, right? I can't wait for in like 2 years when the AI videos are gonna be as good as the image generation is today, and you can have like a legit video call with someone and you can't tell if it's a real person or not. In before all the YouTubers get replaced by AI, maybe that's my retirement plan. I just keep the channel running forever, and in like 40 years people will be like, wait a second, Click hasn't aged. Oh, future retirement strategies, baby. Booyah.
How God felt giving me tall girl proportions and making me 5'2".
I'll be honest, if you're 5'2", that's like the tiniest doorway I've ever seen in my life. Okay, disclaimer, my doors are pretty big where I live, right? They're kind of like old-fashioned big doors. But here's a comparison. I'm 6'2", right? Check this out. It looks the same, doesn't it? It looks the same. Wait, what is 5'2" in non-freedom units? I almost wrote non-freedom units in centimeters. 157. That means that this doorway is like 170, 175. An average male wouldn't be able to fit in this doorway without hunching down if this was the actual proportions in this house. Honestly, I also just feel kind of bad when I'm reading posts like this, because I know that height is a very big insecurity for a lot of people. I used to be super insecure about my height back when I was a teenager, because I was a pretty late bloomer, so it took me a very long time to get some kind of height in, you know? I was short for the first 15, 16 years of my life, and I still think that sort of skewed my own self-image. I still feel smaller than I actually am. Sometimes I know, for example, I'll post for a picture with someone I feel is taller than me, and then I see the picture and I'm like, wow, it's actually the other way around. I just have a really messed up way of measuring myself against other people, because during some very formative years of my life, I was always a tiny little shit. And I think for girls, this insecurity can very easily go in the other direction, that you feel too tall, that you land outside of some kind of beauty spectrum or whatever. And I think stuff like dating apps and social media certainly are not helping. Anyway, speaking of like valid expectations, I have noticed my waist getting thicker as I have reached my 30s, right? But here is the new fresh workout program I am on. Look at this beautiful little waist. It's about the size of my underarm. Man, that's a goal, isn't it? Look, here it is from another angle. And then you might ask, how are the pants staying up? Don't ask that. That's magic. Here's another one. Oh, hell yeah. I love how this is not filtered and totally real. I love that this is the standard young girls have on social media. Makes me feel great about potentially having a family in the future. This world is amazing. I hate when girls wear too much makeup. My comment section when I show real skin. You're not a real woman, unhygienic, a woman with no self-respect, blah, blah, blah. Skin texture is so normal and nothing to be ashamed of. I think videos like this add a very important piece to this conversation, because it's really easy to just sit for an entire video and laugh about over-the-top silly filters, like, oh my god, look at this TikTok filter that makes your waist
this big, you know.
It's very easy to just sit and make fun of without talking about the bigger picture. But there is also other aspects to it, of course. Like, this is one of the aspects. People get way more shite when you just choose to show your true self, or when you choose to show parts that aren't entirely perfect. It's very easy to only show the highlights on social media or the very polished version of yourself. Paired with that, the stuff that gets the most eyes on social media isn't even the top 1% of people, or fitness, or beauty. It's the top 0.001%. If you, for example, follow the average influencer on Instagram, you almost never see someone that looks like that IRL because it's so unusual. The same thing with fitness, for example. So it's sort of like this thing online that so heavily endorses this as well. And this has always been the case with humans, right? You know, people that are typically skewed to be conventionally attractive are more likely to end up on stage or in photo shoots or in ads or what have you, because this is what brands want to represent, you know, their products. But now with social media and stuff, it's completely on crack because now it's just everyday people showing it off for, you know, social reasons. So it's like times 100. Which is also sort of sad in a way, because the standard is set that if you do show a more honest picture, you either don't get the attention on social media, or you even get shite for it because it's like imperfect. So you're kind of forced into this predetermined game where everything is filtered, and it's like this self-fulfilling hamster wheel. If you don't partake in it, you just get kicked out, and you can't compete. It's kind of a wild thing, isn't it? A random high school friend on Facebook. Look at this cute little Christmas photo. I mean, I can obviously tell this photo has been retouched in some way, as someone has worked with a decent amount of Photoshop in my days. Here's another one in the forest with some kind of like hippie-looking fit, and this looks more AI than anything. And here is what the person actually looks like. Bruh, come on, it doesn't even look like the same person. And there's like a 30-year age gap. This is bonkers. And don't get me wrong, I retouch some of my photos as well. For example, my thumbnail photos, I usually like, you know, remove pimples and stuff because it's gonna be like a 4K picture in people's faces on the YouTube homepage. You know, I polish pictures sometimes. I fix the brightness and that sort of thing, makes it look nicer, adjust contrast, but I don't make it look so unrecognizable. It's okay to like retouch it a bit, use good angles, use good light, or whatever, but when you get to the point that you can't even recognize yourself, what's the point? Oh, we got some TikTok dancing going on. That is an absolutely bonkers filter. Oh my god. With this, you can obviously see that skewing everything, right? And also the mirror is very much on purpose, just showing off what the filter does. But imagine using this with a homogeneous background, like you're purposefully trying to hide that it's a filter. Or better yet, use a green screen, you know? So you can just replace the background so you don't get any skewing at all. Man, this is absolutely wild. This is absolutely wild. Nothing is real. MS Paintbrush Hair Lady and her 2D husband are on their honeymoon. Wait, is this like an entire thing? Oh my god, it's not even well made. The resolution and pixelation and light is not even in the same angle. This is amazingly bad. Oh, look at this. Wow, they almost got the edges good at least. Aside from the pixelation and light just being way off, but man. Oh my god, what is this wedding picture? What is that gremlin looking for? No! This is satire, right? This must be satire. This is like photoshopping your own face on a stock photo. It gets worse! Oh my god! This is not even shitty AI! This is what it used to look like when I took my first Photoshop classes when I was like 17 years old. What is this makeup session? They're literally painting inside of her eyeball! This is so uncanny, man. Here's another one. Oh my god. This is more like an AI filter, though. This looks AI. I also love how the resolution is just way different. Like, the face got airbrushed, so the pixels are gone, but everything else is super pixelated. Oh, bruh, there is an entire subreddit to these characters. r/MS Paintbrush Hair Lady. Look at this picture. Happy birthday to Charlotte. You know what I love about this picture as well? It's not just the faces that are like poorly cropped in. Also, like, the name on the cake is cropped in. Oh, here they are in Paris. This has to be satire, right? This has to be a joke account. This is a couple that got caught photoshopping an image once, and then they just embraced it and went full ham. This has to be that, right? In either way, it's really funny.
I warmed it up in the oven when I got it.
That's not a real face, is it? Why is the face pulsating when she's chewing? This has 3,000 likes. Do people not realize this face isn't real? That is just an AI filter? Is it even her face? Because I know sometimes people will like steal other people's faces to plaster onto their videos or pictures. Is this even a real face? Is it just a filter, or have they stolen the face? It's pulsating when she's chewing. How does this have 3,000 likes, man? Oh my god, no. You know, throughout human history, we have gone through different chapters and different challenges with how we consume information. In the very beginning, it was really hard to spread information because we were barely literate and couldn't read. Then one revolution, for example, was the paper press. It was easier to print more information and spread it to more people. Nowadays, the problem isn't that we can't spread information or that we don't have information, it's that there is too much. So the challenge becomes, how do we filter out the information that is actually good? And I remember back in school, we for example had classes regarding source critique. Where did you get this information, and can you find other sources that confirm the same thing? You know, basic source critique. I honestly feel that we need to start having classes that are kind of like source critique, but for social media. How do you tell when stuff is filtered or fake? And how does this skew your world image, for example? Because this kind of stuff, I can imagine, is so detrimental, especially to young people. Like your worldview and your expectations of beauty or bodies or whatever. It's gonna be so out there, man. Oh my god. Oh, here's another Bumble picture. Look at this handsome boy. Look at this handsome boy. He even got some veins on them bicep, man. He's working out. Here's what he looks like IRL. Why, it's so obvious it's AI, man. Come on. In this case, I also don't quite understand why. Like, I can understand why people overfilter, for example, social media pages, because it brings more followers, more attention, potentially more money and everything. Like, there's a motive behind it. But only doing this on dating apps, I guess it gives you more swipes and attention, but you're intending to meet people at some point, right? What's going to be the reaction when you meet someone and they don't even recognize you in person because everything is AI filtered? Like, this seems to be a weird place to do it, even if you want to argue that you want to look more attractive online. Her own Instagram versus a mention on a tattoo artist page. Look at this photo, got all that sass going, cool background, etc. Look at this photo. I mean, the eyes look a bit overdone, but that can also be like fancy makeup. I know there are ways that you can make your eyes look kind of extended. What? That's what she looks like? It's not even the same race, is it? What happened? She's white! I am half Japanese and she edits herself to look more Asian than I do. I am not considered white passing. I didn't think it was the same person at first. That is absolutely wild, man. Wait a second, I just noticed something, okay? The girl on the left is very obviously filtered, right? You can see when she takes a step back how the whole background is just skewing and turning, right? But she didn't filter her friend? So she uploaded this TikTok with her friend doing dances, and she only filtered her own waist and left her friend hanging. That's so funny. Oh, modern backstabbing, baby. Hell yeah. So here is a pregnant photo with abs. Here's more also abs. How do you have abs when you... What? She underwent surgery that here in Brazil is known as lipo-HD. It's a type of liposuction with the design of abs. She's had the procedure before pregnancy. Okay, then it sounds kind of harmless. It's like a surface level sort of a cosmetic surgery, I suppose. So like, no harm, no foul, I suppose. It just looks like a little bit out of place when it's like on top of a tummy like that. You know, maybe it's gonna look really good again once, you know, the pregnancy has passed, so to say. I guess we'll see. The importance of lighting and lens. Not everything is the result of heavy filtering. Look at this, for example, some classic actress pictures. And that is very true. Another thing I want to point out when it comes to, for example, lights and lenses is this example here. Here is an example of a 16mm lens, which is essentially like your selfie cam on your phone, versus a 200mm lens, which makes your head look pretty wide. I think usually what you say is neutral is about 55mm lens, which is basically this. What I chose for this camera is essentially what makes it the most neutral, so to say. You even have tools in Photoshop for adding or removing lens distortions. Let me show you an example of my own pictures, and I'll show you exactly what I mean when it comes to how much angles, lights, and also focal lengths can change the way you look. So here's a picture I took from my gram in the gym after a good upper body pump day. Oh yes, indeed. And this picture is very specifically taken with top-down lighting, so you can see a lot of the shadows. It also kind of makes your face look a bit older because you can see like all the stuff. I look way younger here than I look in that picture. And that's because here in the studio, I have 3 lights here to remove all the shadows, but in that gym picture, I'm maximizing the shadows because I want the muscles to show, right? Different lights for different purposes. Here in this next picture is a really ugly selfie I took way too close to my camera while collecting posts for this video. And if you put these pictures side by side, it barely looks like the same person. Like even my forehead looks like it's way different size, the head shape is different, like everything looks different. I do look kind of younger in the second picture though, but that's because of the focal length, it's because of how far away from the camera I am, and it's because of the lighting. Actually, let me show you real quick what that sort of tool looks like in, for example, Photoshop, because I think people will find this kind of fascinating.
Alright, so I'm gonna take a fresh selfie here with my just phone camera.
So here's the selfie I just loaded into Photoshop that I just took in the studio while recording this video. You can already see that it's a little bit skewed, right? Like the forehead looks different, the nose is way bigger, the jaw is not as wide. It gives kind of like a convex shape to your face. It makes it more round and more emphasized in the middle. So there's tools in Photoshop how to actually correct for stuff like this, and it's called lens correction, and you can remove or add distortion with the sliders and tools like this. So it basically does this to your face. So if I would have like a superficial lens camera right in my face, it would look more like this. If I had a more normal looking camera, like for example this one, the face would be closer to something like this. And right now I'm just kind of spitballing it, which makes it a little bit hard to make this kind of exact. But essentially the difference, now that I've added a bit of lens correction to it, is essentially this. You see, this is the difference when I add that lens correction, and this is how much it actually changes the shape of your face. Now, this isn't a super good picture, but just as an example to make this as obvious as possible. So if you want to take good pictures of yourself without using, for example, filters or retouching or whatever, this is one of the biggest things. Make sure you don't have like lens distortion, and make sure you don't have bad lights. And you can have different lights depending on what you want to achieve. If you want to show off, for example, smooth skin, like I'm doing here in my studio, have like various lights because it removes all the shadows. If you want to show gym progress, have top-down lights, for example spotlights, because it will maximize the shadows on your body. So those are just some like little tricks about lights and stuff that has nothing to do with filters, but it's still important to know because even if you're not using over-the-top filters, it can still create kind of a skewed perspective of what is achievable with how people look and beauty standards. That doesn't really have anything to do with filters, it's just camera tricks and making yourself look as good as possible depending on what you want to present.
Speaking of retouching photos too much, here is a photo that is completely natural. Oh my god, look at this one. And
here's what he actually looks like. Like, he looks fine. He looks good. Why does he do that whole, like, uncanny valley thing? Oh my god. That's what bothers me the most sometimes. A lot of people that, like, over-polish their pictures do actually look good. And then they just turn it into, like, a doll. Oh my god, that waist is not real. I have a diagnosed rib flare condition. That is not what rib flaring does. I eat 2,600 calories a day. I'm considered average weight by my doctor. Just say y'all hate people who look skinny and you're jealous. This has almost 60,000 likes. And I also read somewhere that the comments on this were pointing out like, oh my god, read the bio before saying it's fake. This isn't what rib flares look like, okay?
Would you be able to tell that this was edited? That I've edited my hips, my waist, my arms, my face.
Oh my god.
It's getting scary how we can't even tell what's real in here anymore.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is such a good showcase video. Let's play this again. Because in this video, you have all the things I've talked about previously. You have a homogeneous background, so you can't tell what is being skewed as obviously. If you really know what you're doing with editing and stuff, you can kinda tell by some small pixels with light and stuff, but it's difficult, right? A layman is not gonna be able to tell that this is filtered. And it's not overdone to the point that it's so obviously fake. You know, it's not like, ooh, let's have a waist that's this big. You know, this is like taking 5 pounds off there, adding 5 pounds here, but it's so obviously filtered when you see the before and after. It's absolutely nuts. So I know we've showed a decent chunk of posts now where it's like, you know, skinny waist filters. You know, get your waist so skinny that it can't even fit the organs that are supposed to be in a human body.
But let's go the other direction, shall we? When like 60% of your body mass is just your glutes. Oh, hell yeah.
It's kind of amusing how the beauty standards on social media has just done this. Like, either it's so ridiculously skinny and over-filtered, it's barely even an achievable human body anymore, or it's stuff like this. There is no in between. Can't we all just be normal, please?
Oh, look at this gilf. Haters will say that this is photoshopped. Never mind that completely warped doorway.
Did they put the little devil emoji to try to, like, cover the warped doorway? Is that what they did? Yeah, so anyway, this is obviously not retouched. A screenshot of a video someone took of her versus a picture she uploaded herself. So here's a video from like a convention or something like that. Looks perfectly normal, right? And here's a picture from the social media Instagram account. Oh my, this has 6,000 likes! Do people actually think stuff like this is real? That is absolutely astounding. Like, There is no room for even a basic ribcage. This is nuts. And this is sort of what I mean. The sad part is that the person originally looks perfectly fit and healthy and good and everything, right? But then it goes completely overboard with these filters, where like it doesn't even match what a human skeleton looks like. Man, beauty standards really do be something, aren't they?
Can I even show this? Oh my, I think we have to put like a little censor on this one. But speaking of like either being way too skinny or like the cakes being like 95% of your body weight, here's another, oh my god. I'm not even sure if I can show this one in its full, I was gonna say glory, but Jesus Christ, man.
And here is like another example. What is this? Oh my god.
The extremes and the contrast between them are quite staggering.
I guess this is the effect of kind of social media, that you just get the most extreme stuff that floats to the top. Ooh, here is another kind of goth girl waistline. I'm gonna be honest, I've always known this kind of stuff is sort of bad and out of control, but whenever I sit down to record a video like this, I'm reminded that I ain't seen nothing yet, man. Oh my god, what? This is not real, is it? Please tell me this isn't real. Please tell me. Oh my god, thank god. Okay, replay the part when she's walking like in front of the fence. That's a, okay, yeah. This is a filter. This is a massive filter. Jesus Christ, man. Also, I just realized that this video has 1.5 million likes. How does this video have 1.5 million likes? Am I just like stumbling down the rabbit hole of giving young girls eating disorders? Is that what this is? I feel like I'm tripping around the edge of some like really bad rabbit hole online. You know when you encounter that kind of content sometimes and you just know it's gonna feed your entire algorithm down a funnel? This is that. So here is a little sassy picture, looking perfectly unfiltered and stuff. Never mind that the eyes are like glowing way more than they should, just being outdoors. But anyway, yay! And here is the real picture and everything. But why? Nothing is real. The life is a lie. Well, laddies, lasses, and lassos, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here. I think it's sort of important sometimes to remind ourselves how ridiculous social media is, because it's very easy to factually know that social media isn't representative of reality, but it's still very easily to kind of subconsciously or emotionally get sucked into it, and you start comparing yourself to things that you know you shouldn't compare yourself to, but it still kind of gets to you, right? So I think it's important to have a reality check like this sometimes. Anyway, have an amazing rest of your day, nighttime, whatever time you live, and I will see you in the very next video. Take care. Mwah.